Assalamu alaikum badingulu ngal kontum mobe dawda anibe watu watito. Come on Skype our radio and TV services studios West Yorkshire Leeds Stencil Mount. Bismillah na programu min kasudo jang lokungo lokum ninyi antembenzida jamano. Albadi malo Mustapha Jammeh membesirin programu kunna nyintembeng. They will continue London your features Skype our radio and television services Bioco Studios West Yorkshire Leeds Stencil Mount UK and accent Harit Mustapha Jammeh Nekalen Fiji Rajabi yo comment down taka kenya mel lokum ninyan tembensi tankana civic education program min sambana jamano alal demaro to kotenke muntana jang be molbe tentulam be jelam be bismillah la kotenke yo bitar be kita demanding ngalmira break of communication sabi jinka ya lafta kala modol bulu jam bari binala woto le nyato demanding inshallah nada ka kacha kula mimbe dending miyembe sula Gambia coming aliaje nyame ngalahidi di promise ko be police la alfa sudra wala la diamla sudra minkela police PRO di masudra la jang alal demaro nga sudon ve nyintemma be studio kono bari be minkela coming dalta ka nyame bari ko sokore ka dia wolo fongol da kono en de fa fenkelan sen alfa bal minelo ka taram fe lokungolo kon ni nyantem benzita ze bula inin lamarlan ni giberal ni kontong ni obraje inshallah sinadu ka cha ko ladies first day inin bare mo ken lebe simla
Gava abarka wake Mustapha and be albe kontona be Suleiman nyol na panelist Suleiman kontona ni Baba Mas and be PRO fanan kontona bake because nyinketa sewo bati ka soto jang and ka soto anin police uniform mo anala police dendiko we call be change le fang because si no jane ni police o na PRO yesi anala uniform mo kanamol karandi kanamol zandi be call mento kol ka kenyamen fon si ñoo faham ñoo ngako abarka bake e tay momenta ngalon ko alkatara biziri ne do ko kasial bulle bari e tay mota pour katara jang andu be molbe jube labe kontonna andu molbe ben katara kanyim programme mo jube balbe kontonna an sewole mu dal pour katara jang wato wati abarka
baraka ndey sol
Allah baraka assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh ajaratu ndembe kontonna mbe bamba kontonna mbe piaro na lunta banyin kontonna la moylal be mba flale ko bi aketanye siwo bati comme de hala nyame police piaro soto not only in passing but abe uniform ko no ka fan distinguish ko police all idi bika busy nyaonya ika time soto pour ka di molla pour ni mole kacha so bi manna jam pour kanyo kajafi nata pour ka kacha ka nyo hakilo yirwandi andum misunderstanding ol minu bijen lafta piaro nying asiwo clan di molie so amanna jam pour mol ka police ol kajafi o akana fentani mol diamuta comme ayamuta jusoto o mol ba ataka no kachalo mi wati do nadiata jusol si mama pare kachalem drom pour ngaño faham na kol be bonyoto kami nga kopulol ning pipulol bonyoto ala bara
ni bara wa ke sol bamba
Mustapha ngamol be konton sister ndey PRO Sisawo it's just so unfortunate about Sisawo konda but anyway me PRO konton na bake mba tentula purukala watu ta in this very short period of time kanama be ngalon police la do mandia police la do ko koleata bakele trying to cop crime ka fengo be kata ka banko nyin sikio among easy and sometimes preso men fanan katara lari ka kasia ndol politician ol bukala fe ka chance di polisol so bari fo fanan ni understanding fedron because laftale banko etara a conducive environment dame alonko all the field would be level for all to kick the ball and mbela fele to leke wo reflete so wato do baba ko ala ni toro fe ndolbe kala fe ka police of red card so bari mbaten tulay wato menta pour kana jang nay kacha banko la kuola way patriotism yitande police la karola le saynga yitande ko police they are becoming very transparent ka funtin kan ninga kuol soto be nyinin kala menula na jahale kuolu mbela mo lan fanan tentula Mustapha Bake because jama itolle mu multi menu kumayata at the end of the day the decision makers are the Gambian people. At the end of the day, also the people that are affected one way or the other are the Gambian people. So what ombe molten to la bake menu kala mo nga fo wato wati karila hakilo lukafuma ila hakil balu ka kafuna hakil ndingolma mbete Mustapha fanan tentu la bake pour kanyim platform nyin create pour Gambiano lungan na kuolu kachano badi yakono mbafola PRO once again welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bamba Inimbara Imokende. Ninkumbo Nyama, be PRO police la diamula, ba tentulamba jaila, follow, akumata bake, puru mo komandi, aine danguila. And then momi ya komandi, nanate danguila, ila luntang mu bunyata, bare palaso minga baro wo nak ay nyininkaro nyininkale, and then sulata jabiro dolla wo fannan lale. Bari mol min baby jam alpha le jam and then pulun sa understand ngalon yo fe ko kuma kan mo kuleti mi alon ko jama ibe min fola nyanta kala hakil total iba bulala nyamen aning iba fola nyamen akuma ta bake because mi piaro ma tento la bake ala wato minta pour kana kane dankun na jam pour ka kacha mole kula membe dende sula kula mi alon ko mole wole soto speculational to wala allegational coming police be nyama bi inshallah abe kuma kan woni ko inde la nyele ngalon ne ala mobile line is a busy line and no ka ala mobile will use kan and then mobile num dobje ni ko use nyim video akatari aka drop bari coming abem fele anda batarlam fele anim fana ngamera ba trailer pour que joining laptop la wala be sonela because ne mobile otani incoming call nata aka drop le so nin kumbo nyama ba tentula mba jeila ila alpha police keba fango mi alongo ngamera aketa e kontano tele pour nying aina PRO ina etaram feja ma fana tentula mba jeila wokan utonin kumbo nyama bi nyinin karo ate follow na no mola mim mankatati bari ndol se continue kachala follow na kacha kongo minjibe lafta nga minjibe wolom di Gambia police ni ko di Gambia police modul safo ha police wolle nyanda kido muda komi ni ko police o fango mobi jenne mi alonko ate anene police yakele ase mako aya define nye ni ko police o Suleiman muna mu police o
police o wole mo mi alonko comme banko molle ya tombong pour ay luwañing tamandi ay mulla napulol kanta ay mulla niwol kanta asaje ko Cairo nin tenkungo be banko ñing kono jama nin problemol keta itelle kataje ka jube ko problemol ya tamandi anyanta tamala nyamen mo kurngol fanan o mo miliyalon ko kalwal tinya e sembo loi sembo di tella pour kawol mutake kitindi o ke soron in a nutshell wolem polisoti
woto policia kumata bakel because fewfeng akamol ila soto fengol ni niol tankandi woto mu makamu kumare mbalti ndey fo
ha womu tonyale ti Mustapha because polisol ibe janne pour kantol tanka kan ka jube ko banko kolbe ta kan anyanta tala nyamen ka je ko luwa fanan akata nyamen anyanta tala wole nya ka jube ko mol fanan katu nim polisol man taran jang fanan mosi mol sa jube moma diate yake do si do lipa do si ta do neng do si ta kolke me ya lon ko ani loi manta so polisol la do ko kumata bakke banko tole nim banko la problem ol siata criminal ol siata mol ka question ka foko o polisol te jambang polisol la do ko mune muy la do ko ti foy ke la do ko kele bang so wala na polisol la do ko a nafa warta bakke neje bi Gambia mol kata ye laye sino polisol men bije wala atin neje bi Gambia ika hani dula dolto ika taje polisol le asabu banko la do ko wala asabu so ila doko a kuma ya tabake ni aje bi mol ka wuli kata doko la yeta yela ofiso ta yela fengol betu ofiso ya soro yeta o be poliso la de kaso ni wote mo si nanole ay du ila ofiso kono ay du la beto nka jele aka kele bari tanu a jamale be kela like abe chaotic la le dal so ila doko kuma ya tabake
Bamba ni tankala ni kantala mo tankala mo kantala mia lonko jiber bi kataraje foy mu mo sifati jiber bi kataraje foy be politique parti le to imantarato mol nio anim ka mol tankan ni ka luata man ni ko anyanda kala nyame Bamba ila jerodo fo wokumara
abaraka bake Mustapha abaraka Suleiman abaraka sister Ndey menka molu fata wala makamo a jote mobulu menka fitino tanka ala jote mobulu menka molu temolu pour ka kata pour tilimbali ya kana ke sembe tioli sembo ila sembo wafi sembe ntan kan wala jote mobulu wala jo mote wo jono la yejo fengo fenna doyatal ando nyine mo police la do koti mobe la kan ka sika ka di kafu dantan na ka fo e ko lafta atolle lu atamande banko kan atolle tanka na fenlu na mara fenlu nintol fenlu anen aliya kata fanan ali fero be kata bela kambe luwa atolle nyanta kala molti menu nyanta tamande la wolmu mo kuma balleti banko kan wolmu molleti men ya lon koy nyanta bunya sotola wolmu molleti men ya lon koy nyanta fasaro sotola wolmu molleti men ya lon koy nyanta tiling nolale wolmu molleti men ya lon koy manyana tarla mo dantan waran kafu dantan na kan koto wol nyanta tarla banko la luwala kan damale koto ando nte njikita ko Gambia police olbe do kola njikita nyim fanan na ko ninga asembo sotono banko la luwaya sembo sikaya dila pour mo kana tara banko kan me ya lon ko be kala jorawti Gambia doyata le police la do ko ma nyanna ko le bulu andon wo kamala kaje ko police lu itol mum molleti men ya lon ko mfangolu do ko le mum mfangolu kotol le mum mfangolu bari on le mum mfangolu bari musol le mum comme tollel ni tol mu dron me yen ni fata wala mu fanoti nga mendila fano me ya lon ko wo mu souter langoleti nimme yaje salon ko nyim fano le mu banko be la fanoti luwa tankaram fano so woto ninga woje drombe balon nako he fanitiol fele nata yalo hande na manni ka kawton ka plafala ngako he fanitiol nata kusi atitiol natal yo akamunta ite tamu menti luwa la karola itolio itol luwa be sembo di wala pour yo tetebul ya tamande luwa ya mari nyame walantin na manni ka kawo dibita ngafo kusi atitiol natal fanitiol natal woto makamu le bebulu makamo me yalon ka makamo kuma ya batale banko kan katami makamo be la fang hani president ya police ya la tambital woto police la do ko kuma ya batale alaj Mustapha
woto police ya president ya police ya la kuma da de fang woto Bamba ni wo keto no yamel pour woto police so president arrest no
ha bake fang bake 100% president like comme mol ka fa nyame tubabu konta man tara luwa e santola banko dingo bebe luwa e dumalale na manke an absolute monarchy me alonko fantolo manza waranto dictator constitution o me alonko ni ajube na preamble Mustapha ni na banko la constitution o preamble jube I mem follow safe wala mo we the people of the Gambia ndol Gambia dingol ndol le kambenta pour ka nyin kitabo nyin dada ka fo ko nyin kitabo wala nyanta kelan tol la kangoti men nyanta tamala na banko kan na banko tamandiri nya kan anu nyin kan mo bele ba koto without distinction. So yes, President of Fanambe Luala koto anu police si president arrest no.
Just to interject quickly, Janim Piaro na former president COVID time ya arrest nune because menketa I COVID rules only break and then police so mole ordinary more wole tata report police ko I break because I birthday party leke I 40 mole invite akate malong kono atambita it went to 40 so yeah fine 20,000 krona. During the COVID. So yes,
in Norway, yeah. Okay.
Yes,
yeah,
Norway.
No, I saw that. Yeah.
Yes.
I saw that.
Okay. Akumada bake follow mbeminkela Piaro alal be maro ngasoto. Modu Musa Sisawo atelom police acting PRO ti. Modu Musa be bisimla for the first time prena ye dankuna jang aketanye kontanoti be tentulam be yela wokamala mbela fila minkela bayri imam kontondoroke in summary is a kontondoroke makale pregnant correction is a kontondoroke yemol kontom nyobadaje mbela fele ya funyeko munam police PRO niko police PRO munam alo do kote munam woti modu musa bismillah
baraka bake ala baraka bake man ramay ko use kan I'm using the laptop ngala
game
clearly ala baraka bake kontanta bake ka opportunity soto kana kama be nyim platform ro platform me yalon ko komi ka fanya men civic education ne molem momonde me yalon ko banku dingolem abe banko kan pour ka karande wala ke kala mutandi ila nyanto la banko kan baydi banko mobile ka nyanta je mo banko dingude animal be sabata dem banko kan jang luwani be mobile je fulan jango doron be men fula do wolem public relations wolem PR do ko men to ba kan ni ko public relations wolem control police bunda aning civilian on tema police wala doko aning civilian on tema mo me yalon ko le be tema ning ka kibaro ta ka futan ni mon mum bota police kunna to ila doko Kenya la ko men ke kan wala announcement men so wala fem me yalon ka arani mol ning civilian on ning police wala tema la is the liaison officer ale be ni tema ale brigade police wala ning the public tema ka skuma la sotende kamata
akumara bake Musa woto molning police ol tema nyanda kela fenneti minne alonko police ol nyanda jela ko iba molleje police ol nyanda jela ko ibe jele pour ka molle tanka par bitilo itela jero yamera mol civilian ol nim police ol tema abe nyaadile bitilo
barka babe ko man o nyinin karola bitilo metem momento we are a work in progress wolem ko ndenga kalam ta ko mota jamano ko me dun kan jamano ko to ko andu jama ni atare ko ta jamano ko no me alon ko mbe ka ko mande men on dictatorship for the past 20 plus years so me dun kan ku ko to me alon ko gamen on malo even the civil sector and security sako banko dingo men yalo banko ko no ku jama bi jenga me democracy ka moy lalale wala kaje manyal to banko dul ka ke nyamen akam dañum ku tol dim tol belem de nelbe masakunda ba men masakunda ya banda security and all that so kamala agitation on afena ka kun jama e kaji mol jama bi kala limitation on lo bay di haram de mo ni luwale be kanta bay ni ko democracy don ka luwale fo mo be tamani luwala fo luwa tiwol ne mbam ka luwal tamande ba an luwa ka tamande menu kan bay di aka tamande menu kan mol le ka tamande wol ka wol fana luwale be kam me yatin na e ba tamande la so nin tembento is a work in progress we are not 100%. And we are trying everything possible to ensure what transition process me yalo ko be kiri nyin tembento me transition la nyamen kayro ko fo mo be saje ko mo la ludna menti yo ma fa la ludna menti ya dawodo o kam mala nak sa kala mo to ate bayla wati ni wati mo silobla fo security lemba fo civilian lemba men yalon ko in kawle tanka ate bayla feren wati don si fota wono wo si fal kono le bari akabeta wato waten kanyote ko tegu baydi mol bi janne civil organization bi janne mo clinical bi janne individual men yalon ko wala do ko manke fenti amaka ko wala do ko de baye fande sasi ka jebbo ka tankaro ke kula me yalon ko banko bi la nafale baydi banko ko no mol bi jele men yalon ko wala si funtino mobe ma wato so wala mol ma lundo so wala mol ma sang so wala ka fo nyame pour ka funde ka mobe ka lo mobe to yala ka mobe fasa foyte mu service manual te bang foyte mu civil baydi service manual fana mu civilian lede ne informal wura wato wate mu civilian lede woto hani service manual ka muta ko men yalon ko wala ka luwata e ka luwata landa tambin din tol kan wo mo kilin fana wolu na luwa landa tambin mo silano wo mo fana kanne so in essence ka kumo suden ro ba kata kanne anu nga public ni tin tubake ni jay baydi ba mutarin fi mul ma ko kanyin ko le ngalon ne be tembo mento e fana ya fahamle comme yana sato membe la de loptano ra kurandi abu kadu mo ka bo kemi NG e ko le diala wala ison oxygen sa ni ko ka funtelle is ambulating aka tamale abe taman kan wodo kono an all that sa fi mon je fo ka discharge kata so kono to alhamdulillah
akumada
sang ila diamo iko jamanol kasoto civilianol nim polisol ibeka ka lua tinyale o ika kuol ke miyalon ko ini lua mantama so sang kom polisol ning futata wo jamanol to ye itambita o ye lua tamandi miyalon ko e manyana tamandi la nyamen so alkawo jara nyadi le
ñimu kulti me alon ka kuma ta ba ka promote ya faham baydi ni ko polisol la landa tambo polisol la landa tambo bi as an individual police officer acting as an individual police officer polisol la landa tambo fana bi jele when they are operationally they are executing a lawful order within that for one reason or the order they went beyond the limits ni mu kule men ko fatatal follow nga jibe ni silo me yalon ko wolem da individual maybe ini mole problem o soto ba fo ini fo mol be la o tembo ba fo ini fo motela ba ini civilian le problem o soto nga bundal soto men yalon ko wolle be responsible le wala that is internal affairs mol ka ko mande ni Gambia as human right and professional standard nun do ka fa complaint and discipline unit wato men te maybe bo tole ba kunna but saying
complaint and discipline
reform process member keri ngaje ko the human right component is very important because hani police men yalon ko defana human rights to wala atin hani tol dam wala problem soto ngataw bunna la bunna men yalon ko lebe lola kaje ko melbe do ko no kono ila human right ni is not violated so adole nyama fana ni civilian ni police problem soto fala do ko wato kono lemba in the exercise of his or her duties wala ala civilian wala ala hadamadiya wato kono badi police ole aka kolea kaje ko mul ka kolea daso je ka police samba police wala mul ka police lo kay ni problem so amanya e famba tan police ka be ke ni to ka yo fasale wala tan wala no bundal yeta at the currently the headquarters building we have the unit there me anan ko will be responsible lim wala fana kola regional kono fana bundal yelle officers responsible for such complaints ni atara moni civilian on police le nyosoto bundala ni ata bunda flanya wala okay jani ngo tembe bunda fulo nyin ka senende do wolen ko this officer commanding wala wo is responsible to ensure ko ka ikoni investigate report na ka itande ko kare de police kare ni tele problem so wala na ko dol ta wala business wala mason na ka njo ay semule jayen kan wala interest do ka intlobu wala any other thing then that office is responsible for investigating that. Yeah, but it does not also mean the person only has the right only to report that to that place. I have option also to do that so that those are our internal disciplinary procedures. But again, the individual has the right to go to the police, to go to the courts, to go to any other institute. They have the legal mandate or the legal to address or to redress that issue. But come carefully, by being told we have to have a system in trying to discipline our officers and also in trying to ensure that officers are in accordance, adherence to the principle and core tenets of the policing ethics. That is important. So basically, that officer is answerable to the Inspector General of Police. So near investigation for pareta ikina recommendation or tally forward to the Inspector General of Police. Kaitan joko report karle na tajang police karinin karitema andung na investigate la kuni belar intended na police o ay slow bulale andung ito la recommend. Wala men nata de I report ke bare ngam na kiskiroge na tara ko police o de aman tanake as far as luwa be laari nyamen dem baydi abeo fanna fulul la kana to the second point, that is operationally. For example, if a unit is being dispatched, many along because every operation has operational orders. You have senior men on the ground or senior man on the ground. Many along troops or control address control on the ground to ensure that operation in atata anyama usually, if there are issues many along is profound or if there are violations and all that being reported, then these people are responsible to the command is responsible to investigate the matter and see whether if actually that is the case, then what are the leading factors to that? So in essence, this procedure and protocol jaman lebakono me along police can't handle. But essentially these people are dependent. They can be culpable as a person because after you went within your beyond your limit as because a protocol dealer, there are rules and regulations, rules of engagement and all that in entertainment adhere to. But for one reason or the other, whether it's passionate, whether it's ignorant, whether it's just because of the environment, hyper and all that, you went beyond your expectations, then you are responsible for that. If it is a common issue or if it is the operation, so it depends on where the fault lies, then I'll be determined. But again, we also have the National Human Rights Commission may along currently civil kataji le katale kira complaint takaloj maybe police will not can kamol evict or demolition but in handle nyaming and all that are things many along na feel like on the right was violated. So those people also have the responsibility and they can sometimes even the group involved or individuals involved I got the right to the office of the Inspector General and they will allow them to go, officers to go and report there, they do their independent investigation, then they recommend this. So basically, in essence, these are things when are currently procedures in place when they are mulki munafangala and in Bangkok.
But can I come in there? Piero Sisawo nge konton baki. Kukiling wakan jahali do first of all mbal police all tend to la bake mbal jaila because ngalong ko alla do ko ma easy. Ngalong fanan ko presoning sometimes is tough with you. Just lately, for 2 days or 3 days ago, nga jalbe silo Joshua Mafa wala albe motoluning signboards all fenkela. I saw civilians coming out for in police all kanyo boom. Yo, bari men kan jahali wala mo police all sometimes you yourselves the organizational structure come button the back as a layman. Police all they would like for instance they would arrest a person beyond the 72 hours or after 72 hours a year release for one thing or the other without charge. And you would be asked to keep reporting to the police for 2 years, 3 years, 1 year, 10 years, 15 years. You got report every day. All of a sudden, police no haniman na kotenke or yafo no next month or ninsula temambe kumandilan. They never close the case. They will never tell you the case has been closed. All that you are told is ta ninsula temambe kumandilan. Why do police kind of? I see that as abuse the people's right because the vast majority of Gambians fentanyl them. Niye samba police only investigate, it may charge. Ye detain, yaje ko 72 hours kana sile yebula. Eko ko same na report, same na ta report eko ko ta. Wara ye same na report ro ye si foja ni wularo. Wara mote molbe katambile buka femfoe. Fo wularo dro ya fo ko ikajumala bado eko ngana ko sai same murna. Osamo fanano police all they would not give you fair. It a passo deal. Wo fuaro da male fangol be la passo jola. Inyanta bendu ndile diwon la karambo kunna. So what issues are in place for police to kind of make speedy investigations or make speedy changes, charge people, take them to court and stuff like that?
Yes, abaraka bake ela nyini karo kumata bake and I think these are procedural and procedures processes many along sometimes it's difficult to determine what is the reason behind what is happening come ya describe nyami because sometimes it depends on particular cases but in general like you are saying I wouldn't be able to ascertain exactly why that is happening, but all I can say is that usually when, especially cases many are long, they are very critical. They may require a lot of time to investigate. Na kala mudala kumi ya fanya police wali yo sembo so ka moti him for 72 hours. Puri kaje ko ye mari tu mi menna fo asabati talfama sabati.
Exactly.
Ude lo molde kasabati ndiro ke wala ni sabati ndiro ke tala fo kapare kaje ko tonya fo dun sai wo sabati ndiro ke ay menke. Mun charge le belala mari kan wala mun bus le belala mari kan ni o charge wala ndakan then is a present to court. Wala, based on the preliminary investigation, it's not sufficient enough. Can you marry her charge, place on a charge? Then marry her bill while investigation is going. So now the choice of when a report la another report la is difficult, honestly, to tell you. Yes, we have to be reasonable in general. Okay, but it's like, is it stipulated code? That's the issue here. Whether it is stipulated code. Okay, because investigation is ongoing, so the person must report on a daily basis or weekly basis or collateral. And how long will this investigation actually go? Because what can depend the nature of the case, the issue. Police will come and handle is criminal. Not a civil case handle. It's criminal case. So criminal cases fatal. So depending on the veracity and depending on the significance of the case, I mean, difficult. I don't think I can be able to answer this question the way you might want me, because it's
well, Piero, sorry to cut you. Ni lafta I can be very specific. Lafta, the reason why I'm questioning generalize is because I want to make it easy for you. There is this particular case that is not criminal. It is a land issue between two people. Another person went to report another group to the police, and this group were called to report to the police station, detained for some hours, asked to go home, report on the next day, and keep reporting almost every day endlessly. Anytime they go, ikafo ekota for sama. Anytime they go, ikafo ta for sama, because the other person feels atemu kunu kumbaleti, animole nyo sabalani.
Can we be straight with this? Isa jeng long, ibajela woto abe mako ela bakele. We must be specific.
No, that's why Mustapha, I'm trying to be very specific. I'm giving an example. For instance, the Sankandi Jataba land issue. I don't know if the PRO is aware of that.
Actively, I can't remember as you speak. I think I have had. Is it the same issue that Commissioner Banda was having an issue with?
Yes, the same issue that got Commissioner Banda in hot waters is the same issue that I'm talking about.
Yes.
A gentleman made a comment who is a native of Sankandi. Ako police olia kumandi kaite danku because mole complain keje. Police ol nata umari from kumandi. I have that audio with me. Ako police ole kontebe busy renenteti na no. So police, they could not charge this other person at a memo complainanti at a man na. Obviously, police has every right nimo report to call in the accused. But like our Gambian constitution states, every person accused of an act or omission of a crime is presumed innocent until proven guilty. And the burden of proof is upon the one that accused, not the accused. Amanya na kila kwa ime accused wala nyanta na la ka sofa. Me ya accused wala nyanta na la ka la guilt proof in any civil case. And I don't even see where the police come in there. Don't you think so?
Yes, generally, yaje come alemol sasile. Alemol sasile doko la. Andu doko ni akole ata bakele. By the in essence, mulla right len. Te mulla hajol lem. Mulla many along kabe. Then the mulla balu wala because ye mutaya sindu like killing dimbayal babu and all that stuff. I mean, abuka diandol fane. It's a thing that we would want to have that because mule business all less to run. You understand, and they have responsibilities, and it's difficult because sometimes if it is a civil case, and because it's a civil case, what is that case doing in the police station in the first place? But there are other factors to that. Coming for a report to the police, but what are the circumstances? Whether it has any criminal nature, member determine the police to actually detain them. would be jail. I don't know the detail of the specific case. I heard about it, but I don't get the details of the particular case. But I equally would just have to respond in the generic term, in terms of procedure, because specifically I cannot tell you what are the circumstances around that specific case. So in essence, this is what is happening. But typically, even in Tebea alone, yes, criminal cases is what we should deal with, but naturally, even in our society, police are involved in settling some domestic issues and all that. You could get drawing some police, and muso ninke what will diamo and all that domestic. What on the tradition that remember happened in Bangkok, and the police do go and the wado. Sometimes the police actually contribute towards mitigating all of those things because ni will intervene the wrong. They have okay, alta alkali kunda safe kunda or whatsoever. Advise how to settle that because the reason for that is prevention of crime. Because many times those domestic issues at home would eventually lead to criminality and all that. Because keba musubutela or vice versa and stuff like that. So what I know sometimes it's difficult to actually draw the thin line, and we need to appreciate that. So it will be really difficult. But and nobody should take advantage of the order. And the fact that because you think or you are in position of power or connection, so you can take that advantage, you know, the commissioner or the officer commanding, then you can just influence. Based on that influence, you can, you know, in your that goes back to us. I know the police has a stake there. Those officers on the ground who would do that is not something that we should be dealing with at all, because ni another, and you know, there is no element of crime in this. And there is no threat to peace of the environment, because sometimes this is the issue, whether there is a threat to peace of the environment. If there is a threat credible, then there is that possibility of detaining those persons and trying to see how to mitigate that. So these are some of the issues around this. Yes.
Okay, Nate.
Piero Ngaka Abarkabake Coleman explain, and it's really refreshing for Kasi in police or the jam one day explain this thing. But the cooking in the fananyanta lafta ole nyinin kala ole muko ya kule for eco near more detail. Sometimes you have to check if it's a threat, if has any threat. But recently nga jele ko police ol kamol kumandile afoko nge invite le yena niye kacha ni futa da je ibuka fitina aka destale fo jani be fida in fact aka labang lawyer ko leto. So lafta ole nyinin kala mune ka wo sabu ko police ol man other ways to me along ko you call investigate for a pare then you nekan instead of yafuko nang ngana sula tela police fente ni lafta diamula and man Gambian din kilinje men balanta min police ole kuma katale innocently ikatale because ikafile ko man fenke me along ko police nyanta mutalale bari katara jele e muta and mo mutaro kono fanan na tajarente ya jijele pasi mol ka fintina ne ka fuko police carrier nenne police carrier nyine kena yen threatening yen psychologically torture ye kidol nati de mbodinde no won fo nanjijele munati na wo ko kake because ngaje ko woni loi manta ndo la jero as ordinary citizen
ne afa jumalum kumandiro jumalum mostly jumalum le ke kumandi andum police ol say ye okay ngaje PRO be jele ka jumalum kumandiro say police ol delta wala baka andu ni kumandi jumalo e kam weekend be bondi jele so malo mune moti dal ko da waye fana jaale de
abaraka bake Jobarteh anti Jobarteh. Yes, abaraka bage. Ito nyalem. I think comme ya ko nyama belari wala nyama drong. It has been happening recently ngasi faljele fula for saba ngamira disabale sonko Bora and I think recently Madi Jobarteh. Yes. I think what we need to understand is that Gambia for the state to Jammeh yalong ko tonya lembe democracy la kono. Woku matle to understand that democracy nying ay mol alawle ka fem men be to isa fono wala isa barano men ni luway nyota me ya lon ko amam banko la security threatened in any way ninko security do fanu tabakele but sometimes it's difficult to actually determine ninko like even mun fono la men sa tinano security compromise. And recently, most of those arrests is in relation to social media related comment or posts. and ninko social media fanan kajele ko bi jamono akamunda mobe nyabe tindi walla ndol fondin kel kata fo dindi walla and it's important that as a nation, as a developing country, much more very importantly a transitioning nation from dictatorship to democracy, which at the moment is I mean and sometimes I feel loco na democracy me body can symbol la it's a 100 meter sprinter and then go at stage. We are not at that stage. We are trying to institutionalize, to ensure all of the democracy membe nyinin ka banko kan ka sabatende and the wo ni natan kolla fannala wala security wala mbundati me yalon ko I will affect seriously because wol ka fenke I hadama dimol la nyanto ani la keko le mengota so mu kuti me yalon ko na baro baran na fokuma aka ket kuti me yalon ko komul ka fanya me this threatens our democracy being a fight, and now the police are more or less taking us back to that. Yes, not deflecting the question per se. Minka Sabo is that when we realize, because the police, I mean, Chief Superintendent Yalone, it is different components, the police. You have the uniform branch, you have the intelligence, you have the CID and all that. And all of this work in harmony to ensure the stability of this country. And police normally would act on information because Mukatarano Dinkira Bedo and Muka Mabino Bela. And there are people, many are institutional within the institution, there are units responsible to look at every threat, whether it's cyber, whether Nimco cyber at this moment, not just the attack on people, but everything that is in relation to social media and related matters. When they analyze this information and based on those analysis, then the operative, on the ground to go and deal with certain things, action. So yes, many times when we have information, we have intel that we need to look into. Let's say to the cases of recent cases, like the Sabali and all that. We want to come buya kanem ni kumandi na manjare ngati trailer for dimbayal kono maybe ke ibundi jiwo nyama wala ke arrest and all that. Buya kono like kumandi na police station because police has the powers as far as the constitution is concerned to arrest anybody based on reasonable suspicion. Reasonable suspicion. So how do you define reasonable suspicion? Will be determined by the police officer and the intel analysis outcome. So in essence, technically we looking at what based on the intel we have, we invite them. So what kono investigation is ongoing. Safa start like a brief to maname na talen commande le Simon Bekira and commande munena. Being alone constitutionally near more command for your fight or near more arrest. Let's just use the proper word. Near more arrest for your fire arrest. Yeah, family. Arrest. At this point in time, now that you are here, you are on the arrest, or you are invited for this purpose and we are investigating. We have to make things clear. The moment a police officer invite in a police station or because if you're not on the arrest, which means will let what they are. So what of Mafra, the moment a reporter and the investigation is ongoing, you are not at liberty to leave, then you are on the arrest. So within 3 hours you be determined. Within 3 hours, muna atineta na utinkira. Wala muna na yining ye nafin wala muna na ye arrest. What kono sa katanya sefanu ye yining ka yining kala men in relation to the reason why you are called. So ying can take some time. And what time will come? So meaning, come for at the beginning, right? Within 72 hours, the police will be able to determine whether they're actually going to charge this person or they're going to not charge this person. Now, they're going to not charge this person and bail, investigation will continue, or they still charge this person and bail, investigation will continue again, or charge this person and their process for prosecution, Kasama Court. So dependently, what the analysis of our intel women dealer to act upon. So what I can will invite now. Yes, and sometimes because some of these people now don't know how influential they are. And we talk about Momodu Sabali. Momodu Sabali is a political manager, UDP political manager, something like that. So we know how influential they are. Near will command Jama more than command. yala family kumandile, yala supporter kumandila, sympathizer kumandila, la party members kumandile. Yeah, faham. So meaning if that person is in an environment, is risk at that present there is risk for violence and whatsoever. But we equally wouldn't take chances. Okay, Mumuru Sabali Bijam, and we know people will come to visit, and the type of people who come to visit Mumuru Sabali, many times some of them are activists, some of them have their own agenda and all that. So the police will take it as a responsibility to ensure the environment in which Mumuru Sabali is. One, not everybody can see Mumuru Sabali. We have to also understand that. Not everybody, we are not saying that we are restricting him to see anybody, but you cannot have 1,000 people in Nara. It will be difficult. These are some of the things that to maintain the sanity within that environment, to also study the situation and see whether there is any potential risk to the stability, the peace of that environment. And if there is any obstacle, agitation or agitation possibilities can. So this is why we have the reinforcement force standing by to ensure they will invite me this pass. Sometimes they ask them to go. So you can't more high, more forcefully, more by young, more getting narrate them and all that stuff. But we have to look at everything together, the security issues around this, and understand that we wouldn't want to also, in as much as we want to talk to Musa, but also we didn't want to also create other chaoses around.
Baraka bake pour kawo kumo senandi molla come like ni yemo invite, especially namu persons of influence alka tanka alka environment ning risk assess like ajuwe ko crime is prevented. So bari min kake jama police all nin civilian all iko work in progress relationship le bije. Bari min kimmayata wolem trust nyinti yalong wo agitation o niaja jama akake because nga understand and nga appreciate ko na democracy nying is evolving andung abe transition kan bari Gambian or civilian or nkajile ko wati do let's say for example ni Momodu Sabala comment on social media alka invite le alia question bari nga mol fananje miya lonko they are related to the executive president wonying like during the mayoral election nga social media video je nene Fadera I don't know for Fadera nene Freda ako barola kosin nying wea sprele anung wulba nenkang around the filling station wo janjanta no on the social media bari nene maje polisolye wo invite pour ka nyininka so ntena jeroto kusi fal minuka fran fanchol nati wole ka police la invitation o politicize le and mol kaje ko polisol e ka certain people will favor me particular political ideology support ite ebe mune fola woka
nying question o kumata bagele CSP nying kumata bagele I think it's important for moli akala mutako jama I wouldn't totally agree with the fact that it's only opposition to the government. Ni wale comment on social media are the people that police the interest of the world. Okay? Ni Freda at the family we had a platform at Bantaba Kirfat where she came up with some of these things called threatening and all that and even Gajiko Kirfat stuff like that. So there are little differences though. And it's not preference per se of treatment, but it's also important to state that if you, for any reason, are mishandled, malhandled, or you've been threatened, or you've been unfairly treated, and sometimes it's important that you, the person who is aggrieved, to the authorities responsible is equally important, because what matters is. Because if I'm following what threatening violence may along Carla Safiro I want to threaten and all that. So threatening young and the police did not take any action and all that. Statement of that. Yes, police might not have done that at the time. But you, the person who felt that you've been threatened, have you, for any reason or at any point in time, reported the matter to the police, telling them that Kari is Safiro Leke and Safiro Nyingi Aketa Putimiano, it contributed or it is contributing to the fact that, you know, my life could be in danger or my passing or for any reason.
But Piaro, melody amukuntu, yalong alka wodol je nyaming, alka wol kumandi, fal mo kabu kanyindon jo nyama ba?
Ha, yes, I understand where you're coming from. Albaji la wole nyama ko nga wodol leje safari. You understand? Which is partially true, because sometimes we would see what is happening, and based on that we invite. There are instances where our attention is being called to by a particular person that this information, like it's been reported. That's the right word to say. It's been reported. When passing the statement, when passing in threatening and all that. Let's take a typical example of the Sapali related case, where police officer, because after the incident of Banjul, the court proceedings where they had a fracas, the UDP militant and all that. Then after that, we had this comment on Facebook, which was attributed to Mahmoud Sabali in relation to the police, to the specific, the PIU, the Jeng, the party, and all that. So just immediately after that, let's say a week or two getting into that, then we had this incident of shooting police officers leading to their death and all that. At that point in time, we are not saying that because Mahmoud Sabali and the crew or those people who send certain messages, because we know Mahmoud Sabali did happen. We know that he's not criminal. I'm not seeing him as a criminal. But it's also important too, as far as police is concerned, as far as security is concerned, at that point in time, within the time space, anything is in relation to that, investigate whether there could be any connection. We are not saying there is, but whether there is any connection to ascertain that. So it was important at the time. Yeah, don't come from at the point in time. You see, we need to understand. I released that over a week or so, Alma arrest and all that. Yes, but the fact that after our comment, after a week, an incident occurred where a police officer lost, or two police officers were lost. So we are not saying to well them, but the possibility to be able to link whether there is a possibility of this. It is our responsibility as far as is concerned to clear that down. So some of these things, I've been told as a police. We also understand, yes, Mahmoud Sabali is a politician. Our comments we need to understand. Our comments and all that. These are all things when intel.
But yalo prunkana na kube sembendi wola Mahmoud Sabali aning. Bela flaka alon fana because ila diamo kona ya yeng the war transition ya fola sinyanani. What home quality me along I isula bakele wala I police sula bakele because niko transition jang wolong hani sai albe kula kono mi along ko yamara atol fa ale ya fahamle albe min kono bang wala fo alle kole alle soto albe min ke kan alla doko
ngakala mudale membe because ninko transition lem because it's a process. I mean, hani ata constitutional form for totally 100% democratic in terms of rules of engagement and everything. Let's assume that is the case because the people are with the opinion that is not even the case. Our constitution is not even the case. It's not democratic itself. That's one. But even if we assume that is the case, now understand because of the process, there are people in the system who requires reformation of the career, the mindset, the skills, the interrelationship. Pour moi understand, yes, un kadogo ke masakuna le multa dogo la duan masakuna wala mtolti hada modimo Gambia no le mansa de bay de wala ka masata and Gambia no le kana mo jo na mo jo ni control jo wala kon. For people to understand, this ninka time wala for transitional led because it continues.
Nimbina fanna dole imamira police ka lanna tambo ke idela jeroto imamira fo police ka lanna tambo ke ila dogo ko no ba because le parole ka to ko dol ko no ndef ndeni te be nga wolon
ka fo police ka lanna tambo ke 100% police ka fen ka anen luwa nyotal 100% te sila jang ngaw fo. We are not perfect. We are not an institution that is perfect. There are instances amongst us, people would do something that is, I mean, we have to accept that. wakakela amino kata wato wati nga kalam ta wakela then we nde funde abe kolala no wati dol afunti nang jama ko nga ko na police nanga me lana tambo ke no yela landaka asike no jama ka fi wala ya faham but comme ko procedure le bala silo le fana bala men ya ko aya ta tamandi wala anum police kunda fana be silo ta kan ne kaje ko yin transformation agenda me ya ko le be laari pour katun ndamante the Gambian hada Gambian be la fanyina katun tol be le handol police o men ko don police le sama sini ndol kilin national ban mo nyin duwa ko nin ko duwa ba ko what I'm trying to say is we could be a victim of the same system passé because no one is perfect.
Piero lafta pour ka ñinin karo ke jang very important question relating to
I'll just 2 minutes la drong ale kachandinke I just business killing ngana within 2 minutes I just want to
okay all right that's fine.
Yeah. So lafta ming like I mean for yalong before na life ninde kawle fono yalong jama civilian ol kudol keke ibuka understand. But when it comes to the security sector, mbuka wolta come like kumi alonko among kumaya. Therefore, when I was active in the police, I work under the late Muniru Dabo under CIU, Interpol. Watu Gabriel transfer from NIA Yanati as police commissioner. So, we listen to Watu radio seat bige. Mira aning radio station Juma for FM radio full 11 I can't remember the other one. So you got some officers me along Sud FM Willie Alongo, they'll be listening to those stations kakuoje whether message bit taralaje me alongo abekela of importance Musa decode no, or you got some officers that would read the newspapers kakuoje whether there's a coded message yemunikije. So womu intel ka wol pikle. So wato social media nying among active bake. So bari saying social media active ta kom nga fo nyameng everybody has access to the social media. Once you got your keyboard, you got your mic, you are free in your own house. Kakul for or kakul safe mia lonko. For you think it's your right. You know, democracy lem. Bari democracy fanan abuka ke democracy mia lonko among control. You cannot run a state in an autopilot mode. So for mansa kundaye lual dada mia lonko ide wo cyberspace control, not like as a dictatorship for Kamol Mosul. But the information of Menuka share on the social media, security interest soto je pour kawol jube, ke jube whether it has any message me alonko would incite violence or would threaten peace or tranquility. So new workita, come I explain yameng. Sometimes this message for no jang.
Yeah, but I understand. Yes. But I would like to mira la jang. Mol bijela mini alonko clearly it told for the corruption or nintinyano konole mini alonko wala ka lito molla falto. No.
I think here you're mixing things. When you talk about corruption, that's a whole different thing from an intel. Mia lonko.
But
Jeng konin trimalianing corruption. They're on a different platform. But in Kamimfo, yalo ninga statement for Jang. Then Sama or Sininding Kudo Keta. Obviously, Modo la hakilo bemurula. I remember when we spoke with Madi, Ako Malon Modo ya fai saying I'll content because of what he wrote before. So what I will associate with the killings of the officers. So Ibajela hadama dingo be wonyale and the security operates like that. So ni kumol fota kudo nada ke ikajube ninde probably it has a relations to this. So let's follow nga lisol jube ngaje whether there is any connection. Because if I, as a social media commentator, ninga kumol for maybe I have 5 people me alonko, they would follow me, and unga kuokuke they would take it seriously. So if I make an unmeasured statement, I am making or I'm inspiring those people to act in my own wording. So I'm instigating those people. So police will be invited like a ingamino for wole atina wol reactor in the way they did or not until you were established. For your leader, but in the question of PRO muneti, yalon trust is very important. So polisol ning civilian ol ni atre civilian ol man polisol trust abela doko koleandila. Andun jama ngaje, for instance, ning police officer ming fata. Information or ming bota from the government spokesperson andun DIG la press conference ning. Niya jube, a lot of people see that as being, politically charged. And war has some negative impact on the investigation. Moving like the opportunity to that view of the public.
Abaraka bage yemen for yes ngakumol mole police kundan refana ngakumol mole kabrin ko nyin keda and comme ya fo yamen the police is very interested in what the public says, the feedback, because nibe do gola mole akuma ya bage ke lamoy ila kuma kangol la wala the reactions to some of the things that are in place, whether it's procedure wala whatsoever, especially that case which is a national concern and it was a national interest still, I guess. And yes, the beginning of which you appreciate the fact that the government spokesperson was able to or did the first media show about the issue, and we planned to have the press briefing of which Komia explained the Deputy Inspector General of Police, his statement will be. I don't know, more attack as a person, come Italy understand Nyame, because what they expected to have had or to hear from the police, especially at that time, was to more or less to emphasize on what Sankare has already said, or to clarify, because there were so many issues around that. And Italy, I feel like instead of clarification, most of them are actually not convinced or are more confused as to what has been stated by the police and the government. And sometimes it's difficult to actually dilate more into these issues, because you equally don't want to make more harm than good as far as the issue is concerned. Because currently, come being after a certain stage, more do ka ko ni alla nyo ba into that is lang ninga men wrong, because already I have made up my mind. Whatever you guys come up with, it's your problem. So
no, I'm sorry, Piero. I don't think so. I think alla press conference that came immediately after the government spokesperson on the radio was not a press conference. It was a police giving us Charlie Bravo, Alpha Charlie Bravo, code number, which the public does not have a clue as to what it meant. So that was not a press conference per se. It was trying to brief the police, because the public didn't get an iota of what you were albe memfokang, especially the deputy IG be memfokang nga code number 00 fenge ndolta understand from a layman's point of view. So as far as we were concerned, that was just the police coming out for us to see them on camera and talking to themselves, because they were not talking to us. But woman tell after menyin in kala wolemo right now alpha will come be transitional economy and be kambenda come be transitional economy muntu malal be public order act falina, because public order act ay banko dingol batande back ay police wol fanam fango batande, because public order act, especially section 5 ni nata lo wo kang ibajela ko akol agarauta, because near sectional jube even Gambians can get charged under 59B of the criminal code, just for not taking permission from the police, or you can possibly have section 47, section 48, 51, 52, 50, 52A, 59, 60, 181, and the like. All those clauses are there, different kinds that the police can come and accuse you and grab you. Like you said, criminal code is too wide. Okay, from a layman's point of view, sometimes ibuka lomfang ye menke. Akakole ababa bakel anunte. I'm very scared that I believe the police are becoming politicized again. So the transition there is just phonetics. It's just word of mouth. Because I understand as a layman, me along understand in police law.
And what makes you say police love to politicize?
The reason why police love to politicize is because we very well know that, okay, the government of the day is the government of everybody. Let's put politics, let's put political parties aside. Once elections are over, somebody is declared the winner, that person forms the government, it becomes the government of everybody. So police they are working for everybody. But I understand police sometimes modol accuse samba police, you see the entire government hierarchy coming out to the police station and telling the police that this is a matter that you should not deal with. I will take an example of Baba Jah's case. Baba Jah, no, I'm coming. I'm taking an example of Baba Jah's case, who assaulted a lawyer. Lawyer me along Mansakunda fangole at Mansakunda le at apply do coke. Lawyer Esambay Fall at the TRC. Mobe publicly video, a problem from video come. He came out and said Esambay Fall started abusing, insulting, using vile languages against him. Brake started police. I saw the entire presidential inner circle, not the president himself. Manna brother did, but I saw the entire circle.
Bamba, you need to be very specific. No, because it can mean for a lawyer ning attack me alonko lawyer TRRC lem. But incident ning keta mintole. And at what time? So that's a private thing because it take a minunati. You are showing no. When you saying things, no, I'm not missing the point. You need to be very clear because you are misinforming the public. No, he was there as an ordinary person. Esambai was there. No, he was not there as a lawyer.
These two people do not have any personal problem. Everybody knows. Among any personal
I want to come into Bamba's there because Bamba, I will link it to what the PRO said. But they look at issues and sometimes they call in people. This was also out in the public. How come the police also didn't call Babaja?
That's what I'm saying. Because
PRO, we have problem with the trust with the police.
Mampare.
Suleiman talked about trust. Is this trust that we
Fatu Sumare also publicly insulted a public official or a politician. Yeah, Samba police, not the person himself, a relative of the person went to the police to report the matter. Sir Alkali Conte and others came. It other police only they have to release the person immediately. For a police officer la position on you threaten we can make sure you lose your job. And the lady was released. So molba jela ko police olu ntonga je ko alla do ko nying I calculate because they are trying to politicize the police. How can the police
in summary
such?
In summary, PRO modu 4 police kunda ya politicize level.
Honey.
Obviously we say no.
No, that's hot for certain because ndama kala muda dinkira to ma kala muda watel dame ya lonko the police is being politicized.
Habari ya kudan tan fo jang sai se wol jabino because mi atinna sol Suleiman ya sol ya fola diamo ko na ko lanno amunda la ko mol nim police ol be mol minije lanno te tema kilim bamba ku fo jam mi ya lonko aya jele nde ya fo mi ya lonko aya fole andum fankara kudol fanam bi jele min ya lonko bela fla kayni ka ba jannim binala wolto yalon niaje ye wofo lanna balea bije kuleto polisol ni moltem niaje ba maya fo aketa dulaldo niaje aketa abofola aketa lefo
just Cameroon nang itole membe fo kabo CSP la kana Jobarteh ning bambala kumodo we is important ay luwal fo janne na luwal men yalon ko public order and all that. And I think it's very important pour nga lon ko polisol be janne pour ka luwal tamande and ako fonte luwa falin nabang. And I think nga kalamutal ko polisol mu luwa tamande lalde law enforcement enactment and wolol man tanto la fannala. So wala na wadol nga feel ko alka polisol to nyenne by the sartol level and nyanta ka tamande ni menna nganyanta kan ko tamande ni menna and wo sartol be na constitutional kon wala atin na ninko be transitional la kujamal le bije there are a lot of factors to that I mean, our democracy into the constitution itself is number one. There are commentators when the constitution itself is not democratic, it's in itself. So, and if there are questions around that, and that's the very constitution, those the laws, I mean, that molbe wala tamandi kan wolle bije and wolni duwale nyotale min wolom ko police ka femven kan duwaye nyotale say antol ba fala nyale ko police be menke ka and duwa ma nyota so confusion will be nani dulan to by the mantara on the same page o ka kolje nyame the lens ngamen dun ka kuklimo jube is totally different. That is one aspect of it. Yes, when you come to yes, when you come to the other aspect that you talk about, I think you're talking about Babaja and the lawyer and other issues. Is as a police department, many times, especially when it is individual, when it is actually individual, it's police all report through the police kunda. Mol police all fanang yew silos of the common for nyamen ka cool jube many along will contribute to public unrest or peace destabilize purka act before actually wobekela and jama ni case not a police station moto sometimes na Gambia ya benyamin whether it's criminal sometimes and whether it's civil because these are between two people you want to move like kelta you can find like ke charge for afraid like kelta it is in ale mo bane ya bute abelori woman fe an la Gambia jam ya mo bane kili ya bane fula ende abi jube kan be kola la baki ya faham wala mo tro ya flo fadi and all that ay jube ko la baki so they move floor samba station or saka munda lo ay ni move floor be le muta ya faham so for the sake of peace ikaje jama men ka kedro comme na hadama yan ko la maslaha sindum be ni banko kan na nyokano be ni banko kan despite everything because Gambia no man ke fit na modi ya faham so jama jang kaje ko amon jere nga tente amon jere nga nyin ko sam asike no bamba mas wala wollo ya mbay ala mo kendo wala ala andando nala kuke nyol nata wala bam the other person la kuke nyol nata kaje ko police amake ko be police all threaten kan ne ko this case should not go forward jama men kakke wala ko less na case ni bonde police kunda na badim bumfo wakasi ya bake na Gambia sapun na santola and all that. It's a tradition me alko police kuna to ngata jele and at certain points especially when the criminality involved is not to a level me alonko is very significant understand because we need to understand this criminality. Yes, civil issues we don't have issues with that, which we may sometimes have issues with that, especially when they seem to have an element of criminality or the potential to that. But also certain criminal issues come and all that, which is going to disrupt the peace around the environment. Sometimes we can compromise at the police level. Na senior in come my side na badi and na hadamadiya janni mo bita number la bita tinyala ka record kaninta da jama gamel ni fro record ro jama ni gamel fro record ro alon ko korita le sai itala foi korita ferete ge ko tanke ni wonde jama people use everything possible, whether friends lembang coming for people in political positions, whether government positions, just to ensure in a case wala ni mo la ku ñu whether even this transaction akana for the court. So ni mo kulet fana in general me yalon ko mon nyanta ke hakilo tudo wala kalon ko ku jama bi je na ke tan kana ke dron ka je ko ye police force to case bon bi jele wala wasifa sometimes
PRO fanang lafta meng fola fanang yedia mo fole ko alka call and intel lesodo alka call jube so ntol as ordinary Gambians ni molbe ye melbe commandé mam fenjije meng 13ta me alon ko inyante commander so isa clarify mole at what level alka mo ka foko mbe sambala le fali ye mari diten because two in them molma what level pasintol magic munatin na ñil molbe kumandila ye mel fafe like madi like bora maje munatin na o mune jarta wala fa pour ye kumandi sa two another problem nga mensudo police ke kumandile ka fo nga na diam is it not important ko ali ko jube first ali marita arrest instead of ka ko na nga na kacha katu sai mol fanan sila tele katani ko na ka fo ko ni da dai bukana den al nang arrest but definitely la jang so I call ale dati nim police all tema because mal trust altol fanang maybe I'll be seeing alning other thing so pour ka wo bondi amira ite nyin call clarify la why ka safe ko we shall rise we ati na yete kumandi na kachala ka fo ko pesile no ye nyinde fo wosi o yatina ye fanan kumandi ya fo ko na ye na kaza because mole woleji mam fenje ye men ça fait more than that maybe atole kudo jentol mam menji
Ito nyala comme ya fanya mengi sometimes kuma da kurha kaitandro ke kurni mole kacha kaitandi an wo kacha kono to nyalem kaitandro ke ko meyatin police andun jama kasefero kele we can agree or disagree on the fact that yemen for contain any element may along is an interest to the police. We can agree or disagree on that and wo jama is I mean is subjective. But what I can say is that one thing we need to understand is that police is also the kamomunding commanding, wala kamomunding arrest. Ni to believe tapo the police officer acting believe tapo there is reasonable whatever may along ko asamari arrest no. Saying come to the point of okay we are married invite. Come afanya men kumo ko jama come bunyalem horomolem dorom alpha. Jania ala dimbayal kono and all that, not like arrest and all that. But in essence, what's the difference? Nana ye dam kunna. Aina police station auto. Nye command le nyin and we are going to investigate you. Ojina tangi commandi by investigate lale ni investigation mambano within the 24 hours. Okay, we are going to detain you. Meaning the person is already under arrest. Yeah, family.
Na alma ma iko bunyale but muna ne mama because we confusion jamale nati sign. Confusion jamale kere sign. Nga fo ko muna na alma arrest do ngalon ko bunyale atina. Bari nga fo ko ay confusion jamale nati sign because sign mol fanan ka fo ko ila nyin kumandiro arrest solem.
Ha, mun bola fo kan ten.
Kan clarify no ni police sol konte ko nsula tela police. Nsa fo non I have a right to say I'm not coming. You either arrest me, but in panantita. So now you arrest warrantita. Because you invite le. Ima fonyoko you are under arrest.
What's the matter? What I think I bring a Madi invite. You remember Madi invite what I mean. Madi said I'm there and all that. But after that, capital parade, not like arrest nothing. What I'm trying to say is in general, in essence, we need to understand sometimes the best way procedure the best way it be marrying in front no lebe dame bunya ne horomo kon ya fahamne and most of the times ni mo mulete men ya lon ko we are not saying ko comme police tano ke arrest ya understand but jama mo mulete men ko in the society they are ikumata jele they are influential and all that. The best way out of all of this jani new saba because for example yala Mustapha ninga sabal fo wato aka fanya sabal ko wala ndejana but what I'm trying to
say because being keda yala sabal damande asis fango fele ngamre la ke wala be yamu kan sabal la ko la safir jamba safino malo how many words mamra mbo karana no isa fono le bari bora fanan kana nyina min keta wola yala wota ba court le fo nyanda manyen no fola aning min keta madi fanan okay is it sabal use no as an example if as and when he was.
Yes, Mulananka use Jama is because of his influence and his position, especially as a politician and as a political manager, a campaign manager. So that one, maybe there is no that commotion because the first thing they would say is they call their people police command. Walla they send a message on Facebook ka inform ko police den commanded and all that. So men ka jama ni ara police na te arrest you can imagine tolla mo wat do ka ko de nyame ka force to ke nyame ko sabali man tra alhamdulillah and we na me wulu la ko tengo sna ki do
okay ngaje family say lafta min nyinin kala li paro dum fo wo daba arrest ko la ba malo can you help out anin kamul gas
yani ko equal arrest
okay li paro police la do ko kono fo li paro da bi jela ba
li paro da be police la do ko kono li paro da be police la do ko kono le katon police la do ko a depend do ko juma le be kiri typical example li paro ka ke da men jama wala public order management comme riot and demonstration jama li paro ka ke wala do wala ananyo ngol men mu yata because men ka ke there is what we call the police intervention unit. And in the police intervention unit, there is a section or it'll be more the command ko yitrene karandile ni ata riot be caring inyanta kama nya di le stages le wala because na kala mutale ko because there are different types of riots, of demonstrators. You have hostile and peaceful. So we'll be in the handle nyale. Because if it is a peaceful demonstration, ibo handle la nyame, and if it is a hostile demonstration, ibo fana handle la nyame is totally different. So what I think jama in a peaceful demonstration, a peaceful demonstration can also turn to become a hostile demonstration. So it will be that it ko they are standing for this Alkari Bula Usifal and it be parallel.
Okay, but say
yeah, let me just comment quickly because Betala by half past in 4 minutes. Melima quickly. Yeah, bukan after me emphasize la yalong ikomunati na polisol ka gas okay. So Pierre ya mention ko yalong let's say for example itata ndemu political party la leader ti. Inata na suo kono na party supporters be siring mol bije iko ibeng arrest la so wolba fula no iten sambala so yalong woni new sababe kala nim polisol la so if that turn hostile polisol itafula ni mol be kala po tear gas o cool jube be min kala mi yalong ko ibe nying sambala no asatara momam faje o momam barama. So any means necessary pour ka samba isa use no asatara imam mufa but na question on nying piaro ya wolem ko ya nyininka for police ya politicize akono bonte in my opinion thing I believe ko police nying is highly politicized because bambala example I mean ko sometimes fanang niya jube it's not the institution but it's the individual officers nindem commissioner of let's say URR ngamo DT arrest so MPP la chairman o nata je ka police station o ka fo by force nga o bula o nga release o teninteng so mba o chairman o arrest la for interference of justice mba arrest la for unlawful entry to a premises public place so si whole detail no depend at the individual officer nyina dol bi je fana ikasila leko ninga nyi arrest mbina na doko fola maybe wol email doko long o imang dankene alala without wo doko ete doku do sotola but I strongly believe police nying by virtue of keeping president nying sa appoint and sa dismiss at will that alone has politicized the police. I am coming advocate all the time. Police nying anyanta autonomy sotolale. Ani president o IGP arrest parliament nyanta jube la ya vet or ni president ko be IG dismiss la parliament sa vet ya ko no ita dismiss na on this ground because it's not lawful. So wobe IGP la position no nying and trending la abas sabantini la isaji asidoko keno anyama miya lonko even na decision dolta mia lonko they are unfavorable to the president or the executive atala doko lusla and ni police all the younger officers fana inata wolje itel fana isi hani politician ol nata pour kala vile influence la they would stop it is on because I remember Kabrimbe Tamsir Jasi was then the DIG presidential election I mean state I think 2001 ako Tata radio to interview all the political parties would have the same security level and any politician may alonko I crime commit during the election ibe arrest la ibe process la and I think within a week or two ya bondije ya samba immigration so you can see the political influence there statement dolbije as an IGP ita fonola or as an DIG ita fonola because your position is at risk so I think the police is highly politicized. On that note, because I need to do something.
All right, okay, that's fine.
So it's a pleasure meeting you.
CSP Abaraka Bake, meeting you for the first time. It's a pleasure to have the opportunity to share such a very important platform with you. CSP for yes, to a certain degree, I justification nothing and I asked why at the state for it is politicized. I will speak on the operational mandate or the operational activities of the police, and as far as I am concerned, operationally, I have not seen any political influence in the procedures, in the processes. May along police go retirement in Bangkok and in Tembe. Yes. Sometimes like it's difficult sometimes more kafaham because the police in one way or the other is answerable to the executive because the police works under the Ministry of Interior. Yeah, faham. So in essence, like as far as we are concerned, you can imagine what is ongoing right now. We have this operation
So would that interpret near order sort of from the executive or the ministry akoy minke ibo wala kela?
And what I'm trying to say, what question on Yemen wouldn't be fair, honestly, if you are directing that question to me. I mean, yes, what I'm trying to say is, wouldn't be fair for me to answer that question in that way, for the fact that whether the executive, Yemol direct or indirect, to be able to, I understand what you're trying to say. It's not me as a person, but the institution.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
right.
think, yes, the institution. What I'm trying to get at is, because right now, the executive, if that's recently through the Ministry of Information, let's say the National Security Advisor or National Security Office through the Ministry of Information, or the Gambia Police Force will take lead in the upcoming operation of special operation on encroachment on the road to clear the road blockade and all that. So are we, if that is the case, are we equally saying because that is the case, so the police are getting instructions from the executive? So I mean, it's what to do. We have to draw the deal.
Yeah, I think it's when it's politicized. That's where the problem is. When you are politicized and molbe wole je can sign police kono. Maybe it's a woje because it feels like you are doing your job. But what we are seeing is that the police is so politicized that people are picked based on those we see being invited and called. Here kumandile based on anti-government statements. Jamaica wole kela. Anu menge na grata fang Mustapha ya nyininka ko fo polisol siripalo kele ndela question o binamnela fo polisol ye right so ke lipa on the arrest because ngawo mwele ko molbe jefo yen ditene yen dampu yen lipa yen baneng fo polisol ye right so le na ye muta on yo under the custody al tolye momen muta be sira al koto fo ye right so le ka baneng wala ya neng wala ya lipa
o man ke nyini o man nyanna kala nyini carte fa o senatale o senatale ko police ol ma wora so kamo bute kamo ne ni tumala men wala na question sometimes in context we can be able to answer them. So ninko police ol yes, they have the right kaliporo kele wo context bi jele but yem mo yalan ko is on the arrest already in your custody be mo ne kala ko tenke because there are procedures hani wali poron kamen foten di poron ni process la so da procedure la so ibe ka motra loren do ya lipa wala because mo le ku ke ya lipa hani de. Because for example, if you want to arrest an individual, that does not include liparo. Process level, and you are going to use minimum force required as far as appropriate or proportional to the person at the time. So liparo ka for damage, jama akake damage. Me yalon ko wala sabati sa fang usikino. Umuni ata demonstration be kiri wala riot be kiri. Dame yalon ko mo level lowering and they are hostile. And it's the police responsibility to ensure that sanity is regained. And they are going to use everything legally possible to ensure all process will be jail. And what's that? All the alka police will get para nila sirol je, para nila batinol je, o batinol na famu li parol ngot. So but what stage the whole be like atam bi wala foni fra san li parol te ning ban nola des. Mais tembo men li parol ta ban nola. C'est amuno to raji gaso le baban. Stages le bala because there are procedures to all of this and these are all prescribed. These are within our laws. So we really need to understand that.
Yeah, fapareta wala na nganyung question o nati because nga mol jele kata police ka naike tamo kosi. Nga mol jele ka lo idim police be accused of something. You are saying that no, make tamo koso ye na. Nga wol be jele. So say inte ka de lafta men question na police training kono. Katum tul ngaji Gambia police ka kam fa bakale. Juso ka bolefo, juso ka tara kandering, ibe kam faring police training kono. Who training buka ke pour like police ye patient, ye tolerant, because in situation jamali betarala nyoka bari Gambia police be kandiring dorong anya be kandiring you know so
like a
training kono ko buka jube because tamako so kataria Gambia police bulule nendiro kataria Gambia police bulule liporo kataria Gambia police bulule training kono fo fal buka nyilbe jube or the number of people for more buka reporting be fananki
ha nyim kumana bahe kadun ni ko training te personally I went through the training some police will be through the police training, and it's important that in outline because ntenga menu attend what training men attend umu watilde wati me alon ko min democratic dispensations mo kono len so mel tambita wala mo wol long bari ngalon ngamen kala mo wolem ko ikamen be fote mo kunti me alon ko e mol karan ni men wolem ko police wala lud la moneti constitutionally police is mandate le sodo, and also the fact that the police is here to serve the people and work on any human right men be for and all that things men we highlight le, and we even use the period of the dictatorship as an opportunity to also reflect on the past, to understand what happened in the TRRC and all that. So as police officers, what the expectation is of a police officer, these are things that many are on communicate as far as good conduct is concerned. And
Mustapha al-Heka today, as you can see, mfalentala demanding Piero mfalentala demanding nga mendu nienje ten sudel yo ay bari lafta men ñini kala dong police la code of conduct and ethics nga moy leba ko mo ñing kacha kan yo bari mbuka understand with all the money that we invest in getting our officers professionally trained yeke multimedia lonko, they are going to be very polite, diligent, impartial, courteous, and respectful. No matter the crime, no matter the suspect, it is within the police code. For police only, Momo Muta is under their custody. That person is given his Fourth Amendment. That is his right, his human right, respect and dignity. But in Kajela, police all come all man handle. Ke kuda muta ke kudong ye fiom ye fay moto kono ware ye kit ware ye dabbo. Comme nunto nga sojaro je kamen ke bloody civilian ye kiti la butso la nimpongol. Ngaje ko paral fanan ka okele. So muno de keno la pour ka paral fanan train. Do ngalon ne ko the force that is necessary should be exercised to maintain law and order. Bo bele wolo. Hani mem formal law lo be alon ne ko ning ni wosifa manke luate tano andum bete tankano luate dawda obanko bukatanga but ngamenje wole it goes to excesses what excess mean nobody no la police or la kono nyadile because that is not part of your training, neither is it part of the law. When police or for criminality pro sometimes do look at kamfa, as a result they go the extra mile. So malong albe mune keno la pour ka police or for karandi kaitandi la ko alne mennu be nyola teng actually training men sort of in terms of discipline and all the development through those kind of training, and in terms of the endurance to be able to enjoy a lot of public howls and south training sort of. So as a result, it is upon you to show maximum restraint in your part at all police. I'll thinking the police because when the security reform, maybe that's what I am not going to talk about that. We'll be another day. But in question on left, please.
But it's quickly. The security sector reform for 10 team, police kunda. I know it's subjected to, a lot of analysis, but it's ongoing. And as far as the Gambia Police Force is concerned, I guess it is also fair to acknowledge that, yes, there have been issues, there are issues, but in general, I'll come in be for 10 sign, tell a miro to Mukutime Alonko, Nick Kemelem saying, Atalata Bakele de Nabikiri. Atalata Baginta Folako is zero, is not happening. Accusation also from Bora, and we've also seen that he filed a complaint to the courts regarding all of that, and we cannot say co-water caring completely, but until London Nimoto in what me along Kungaki in Bunda Dambia public relations, they were who could a Gambia police force out Gambia Banco can Hani Kolomonajo and Tanka Kalamutale, de Maro, as far as security is concerned. Nga Kalamutale ko, Nimu Ultime along ko, ni nga nyoma ko ngambulo dinyola as a country. Hopefully we'll get to that state. Dame along ko nimbe kala a thing of the past level. Wale asabu not hakili bakang wala la moyrike the Inspector General of Police ala inaugural speech me yalon ko the police model inauguration men keta Serakunda dami yalon ko GIZ ning DICAF keta EU rather keta multimen yalon ko mako ndiro keta police station nyinta as part of the reform process because police station will found kulle kon men yalon ko ni democracy na police station will be stage to me yalon ko akumata bakel ke reform in terms of ni democratic system ni pour ye kanyan no pour ka hada madul takila nyantul dila tumala men ne police ye momuta selo fa kono detention center ni ba process la kata court up to ka prison ni at after o tembo wo kono mal ay ku jamal le fa andu men ku mata wo kono wolem the academy the police training academy ala kumol kono wolem ko mang standard school so do me alon ko the police will train na wolto from one state to the other, from recruitment up to specialization, up to advanced specialization. Umukultime yalon ko police nin lafita. Comme membe fo kanya eka kultime yalon ko is a thing of the past. At least not 100%, but to that level, abe kumala pour masa kuna ning all stakeholders Gambian on nga bulula nyokan kajeko we contribute, we concentrate. Nim kultime yalon ko is forefront. Right now, we will kumala back to the achievement of this one of the security sector reforms.
Okay.
Yes.
Akumad. Lafta min fola jang. Ndemu civilian old. Ora gunjur yaman je ndol bodo sate ringoldo. Lafta min fola modu Musa.
Yes sir.
Nyamendi as a civilian member of gunjur. Nyamendi as a civilian member of base santo su ane woodlaldo. Nyamen di bang nim police e muta na e fenkenna wala nim police e namo muta e fenkala mi alon ka ne loi manda nyamen di bang
abarka bake ni police e kukela comme akata nyamen drom me yalon ko ite yamuta ko ila rights is violated or is been violated whether in ala interaction wala ma as a person wala do ko kono lem bang wala comme ye mutale hani police kunna ye mutale kule ka me yalon ko mala men ne be bulu manke ko men ni silo e nyota men ñi ñata je men ñanta je ñin tembento be men fule wala ko yefutan na dinkira be ka ko dame ko human right and professional standard unit ila bumba be
human right operation standard unit abe mundole
abe bumba ila bumba fango ila headquarters abe police headquarters but regional kono membe Gambia tundola representative sort of like in all the major police stations within the country damero we have a personnel who is attached to those police stations wherein if police officers are involved in malpractices or they are involved in situations or issues on professional conduct many are long who will responsible and they are answerable to the Inspector General of Police directly. Internally, but we are not limiting anybody because a police officer is equal to like everybody else before the law. If you feel the case wouldn't be fairly hard at the police or with the police, then you have other options. You have the courts, you have the National Human Rights Commission. So you be mubundal timeni along ko by the loi lebijang and loi mobile jang. If you feel ko niya sama police kunna fang police ita faidan de la wala wasifa e option do so tole ha wala ba kumala mo fa kana si nintara police ten because nga cross ke report do na ka fo pa modu Bojang I had an issue and even to become a police station and to report the case ni manda handula and all that stuff. You know, I had that information. And I'm for ni other reflector station or to or somebody, and for one reason or the other, what police will get a multimedia long ko, inyanta menkela market, itala miroto. I mean, atodun carry or go along the ladder, iboje sound lado and jama ni for the inyanta futa damen, hopefully jama ni kaka multimedia long ko, police will book very likely as far as current administration is concerned, I mean the police administration is concerned, emphasis has always been to be professional.
So current administration
sorry Mustapha Piaro yalon fanang mol kapatale and nimole kol ketela polisol ye kukela yalon polisol la sembo ning civilano la sembo manke kilindi because ka jawole nya polisol ye sembo mesoda na la uniform and inte civilano ngam mesodo jama mol buka am sare ye sembo bale soto so ni da polisol report fem mamboje amari ka batale kato ika fele ko do min tata santo danko jang imar dadano santo o ibitat fana iba fayla janal muna na police ol fana ma ifan jube ka jette ke fan jube ke fan crossi coming alkani intel menta on other issues ka mol kumandi alte wo intel fana tala ka jube mol ka mune fo police ol ma police ol ka mune ke mol ka mempo police ol ka mune ke mol aka wo gada aliya fam ibal because start of example lafta wal no way jang lots of report leketa police ol ka mo foreign sol trit nyame a report ta tele foreign sol ba diamula atiamo siata police ol nata e muneke e molle commande okay that maybe larger in Gambia e foreign sol invite meeting olla mel yalon ko be dokola with your organization sol mbesi tanim police ol diam tan kachata police ol tata after meeting o inatale ye ticketing ne bon nim police ol e momo stop nika wo ticket o click le yadi so it's true that ya jube how many times the police ol ka mo foreign sol stop and ordinary no real Norwegian sol pour ka jube ko tonya nyine be kere sai wole be kere sai me wo face le kono sai wo ticket o so you stop that you give that and then that is it anyway ya record and that is recorded so police ol fanang me wo situation so ma for the same day but situation me alon ko ita fo ko hey be diamo le social media lem kane pombatandi ni mala fi police ol ni mu politician ol UDP lem nyinti wala MPP lem nyinti but to look at more the complain o men ke kan me alon ko amam futa tolba mal alka pick nole ka jube ko tonya mo ba fo ka police en lipale police en nenne police en arrêté without no reason police en nyine fonye nga jube why is this happening because situation on me men kono sai nim police ol tema trust ning ayam fatale beginning of after 2016 trust o waratale sa be jikanne ibajele ko di more trust na men soto with the army because army be siri ila tonkon konole bari nim police ol sai abe jikanne so al ka sila kan yin evaluate so ngol men man futal ma bari al ka moy le social media lem mol ka fo be doto ka ko jube to see how you access that pour ka trust build nim police ol
Abarka Bake, Trust Bill and police will get a Kumara and is in the forefront of the Gambia Police Force. And one of my responsibilities or the office, the public relations, is becoming for them. Mulkan Kolle, Mulka Kumakon Nafi and Kafoko Police will Leke and Falia Kalam the Kirim and all that. In addition to the professional standard unit, Walla responsibility is not only restricted to report or receive, but it's beyond that. It goes into supervision, visiting police stations, surprise visits, and all that. Police and all that. So, also in place. Kajeko police tara manya wala Kenya la meni alonko anisilo manta then aske putime alonko police nyanta melali mari kan isale kan and ya fanya menem akakola ale watu do police mol ka mudra ko police kanyo bampule ko ni police problem soto ite
mol ka yes mol ka
police kuna tenin asikola asikeno komi afanya me based on their experience and when you take a putime alonko mol manyana wotala as far as we are concerned from today mol manyana wotala as an excuse not to go and report issues many alonko ay affect le in police wol team wala in police wol tambita melna o watol tambita le police kunda ndol ala lo somanda police headquarters and dole nyama region police station power police station we have what we call Mustapha in the morning dami alonko police wol men bebe do ko dinkira be kasile ikalo ka kacha ka diam ki yamari ka jeko men kono jang komi kamen be fote na police ke bal kanale ka muli yamari e briefing nem ka muli yamari ka fu na do ko menti ka nan do ko stambala nyame anu nkana nyina al kamen fote ni social media be kerinte is very powerful ko albe do ko men mol be crossing wala albe ka kalamuta mol kal natal mol ka record le ka fina woto ni se ko be mala nyaawo nyaay ma within the limits of the law o ko mata bakel baydi wato wada ni tan ta ja wala mo na da kibaro na fina wala ku na fina me ya lonko anim police nyanta kamanya manta and you are found culpable if it is criminal you'll be termed or you'll be taken into proceedings. So I think as far as going forward is concerned is important umulia faham ngalunko
Akuman. Yes. Okay. Madna Aziz
Assalamu alaikum. Alkamu elebang.
Yes.
aman sonna nala pobri police ol kumandi jang assistant
hani wonte
police ol fasa doro ne si jang be jang la
hani wallahi wonte bi hani aliyenje tem pelem bita kan do ko wala
no ke badani
ha lafta ka police PRO tentu aninka police olu be tentu biringi sonta kananyim platform to ka fo PRO Sisawo ko abakata comeback nte fana munum police olti aseke ayellong aseke amallong adunga be position o mento as the police spokesperson fana benun jele bari ngamben long bi ninga wolon nun kunu na policia abe change la back but left dorong to go back to I memfo comment sabali la case to ko police oli right sotole nie kuje meya lonko ay concern ye amari kumandi ay nyim fana foko sabali la comment men ayake Facebook birin incident keta wala atine ya mira ko fa ase link soto wo bebe la right kono bari bi nin taraybe policia kela anyama inyanta men kela wala mu yewo case follow investigate for near any link je to sabali de near sabali invite bari near sabali invite alterate among any link soto among any strong evidence soto.
Yes, as it's Elalino is acting, as is driving.
Left men na fana PRO ningi kumolu for me alonko police last not coming nemu and note down, don't even justify.
Exactly.
Katu is a learning moment for us. Itebe damen, you are in a very difficult situation because sometimes itela different things. So you end up being doing what we call damage control. And
I think he said this is an opportunity for you to come. Yeah.
PRO la nasi diamu because kujamalu beje mba try kanyi lungolu bekono pour ka asoto ka advice ma soto no nga aji kole amapik adunga kuma
Aziz Leila Lina better. Aziz is a senior police abenung attending IG nyolo netol abe wo stage level kind of bravo Gambia police yala. Aziz Bojang malum foi ka to mo la bang ate fanam benung Gambia police le before police kebalum. But ala line of acting ate fanam is it could be resourceful, you know, to be honest. But minkela Aziz ila line of elam better but minkela Sisawo by the water felenda data back fanang. Bella fele yem ma koy minton day for jani binala final thoughts so wala nyintiko lafta ko killing ye wol long jang because bring a command koy bina kenanya ni se o bati police ke ba jamal yen command you know jawabal yen command ko nyeko akabina la ngay ha akabina la ko well wo bete ada bakele no police will say kanai ka song inimul kasika ka diamond. Thank you very much for that killing Flanjan na bala puru aka kumanyi nako malum fu jannum dolka mira nyamen bang oso bari komin nimmiye kumandi inata ye dango dobi ye kudol kafo aka kinyinin karola aka ke kumolete minni alonko ike moy dulallo de kafo dulallo to so wol fanam puri defana ye wol do down you take them on board abe kumala bakele aka kuma bakele balu kono anen fanan janden bita ya funyele ye nyamendi le ko mimbe kala momo wota sabeji nimmo police e kukela kana ko police ol be mo killing lati akate ye simfata e dulala bije ka fote me human rights bunda woni nenka human right wala nyanto momi la nyanto tinya ni data police bunna ne aje police ol be wakala kilingol ti bari dobi je abukola ala modul ma ko do soto pour que sa mallo anyati lo que sa makon to woko do soto no malam fo fere do wo karola nim fana ni se mako ino ite muna mu ite la kole akode wala atul as police ol muna mu alla kole akode alla do ko mala la ko ko alla
a beta ta baki wo question kuma balde me yalon ko by the police do ko mu do di me yalon ko banku do ko le like any other do ko, but the difference is that atemu kulite me yalon ko aning hadama dingol la nyantol le be nyokono by the police on muti me yalon ko ay sembo so wal way sembo diala ka hadama dingol ta ka la nyanto ta ka seize at a point in time as a result of one reason or the other, wala kamo arrest and all that. Meaning, wato watin tolning banku dingol be nyola le puna me yala ko bay di nibe ka fo kono wala nibe in the society mol mankanya anda ke bay la fo luwa bay di ada wala kamma luwa ni ada da fo luwa yetinya fo mo le so me ko be luwa tinya la. And recently ngajele wo siari mbake ni banku kanne kata criminal activism ningol na youth sol men yalon ko wolle na sama alfalti ina to crime, to drugs, to anit ningol kata karamu to stunt driving and all that. Of recent nyimu kulle men yalon ko akolata bake mo fal na rasta yin drop mala mo fal nyanta kake wolbe mo kulle ta akolata and police da do ko kono min kumata je bake me nyanta kasembo so bake is more of prevention of crime by the wala kumata. I know because if you want ya tanka well, if it's able to fight if enough, you have to learn from that and all that because Jammeh is a loss of life or loss of resources to the individual and to the state. So what I'm trying to get at is the collaboration of the community, of the public, the people that we serve. Police the main task, the reason of establishment is to ensure peace and stability. And one way to do that is to ensure that the Gambia police force, police holding the society, the community, the bloody ye do ko ke kaje ko and the do ko membela promote jamala nafale wo kamala aw do bete ala bake wato wati wala atil nafam. We equally have what we call community policing unit. Community police unit me alon ko wolle be sasirin police bundala kaji ko nyaadi le the communities na population in police will be bloody na nyula nyaadi le kaji ko do ko ke membe dinding stability and security of this country. Wolem ko the community will have to determine in collaboration with the public itolla fanna la dinkira de la community ko munel mi la sula ko wolti nana da security la munle mi na problem wolti o problem wolti ni police will be bloody no la nyaadi le kaji ko problem wol solve. So you could be along maybe and there are establishment many along from the district level, regional level, for even the community level. We are trying to work with the VDC, Government Village Development Committee, ensure not only youth committees or sport committee or other development committees, health committee, but also to have in their committees security committee. May along in police will be at that grassroots level. They understand what their security needs are, what are their challenges, because police stations can be installed in every village or town. So having to have security committees within VDCs is one opportunity. May along ko committee work to know in walau batin nanola ibe there will be that gap member in police will tema be brigla. So nimu kultime algo is an initiative ongoing, and right now ajam fata party by dinga banko be sawo sang ekato kata around the country to meet them and what are chilling. But not only that, even in police stations and regionally and districtly, put have what we call community coordinators within districts, community policing coordinators within districts. So in essence, nga polisol makwe, nga polisol bulay la doko ke. Ni na da fanang masakunda la fanala. By the polisol la doko bedending masakunda la ke sasi. What I mean sasi is a unit or an institution with under the government. Polisol be suda la doko rangal menula. Ngalo ne jama mul ka fle challenges beni aron ko polisol ka fo e wato wadi ni e momuta wala ni e pon moto man tara janni wala fuero le man soto bang wala nyin le man soto bang nyin mu kuleti men yalon ka do kuma la bake fana ni budget be kala wato wadi sako de national assembly men yalon ko wala ka budget
Yo, but kela be National Assembly Finance Committee commandela wolum ni fana time so do bela fele tarajambake Madi, I know him. Isaje itol fana yenyi min fanya kumata bake because ndoko jamal jamol ka foko police station on itata je my lines my isanso sono ima moto soto ima nyin soto wol fana mu fele to mi alon ko kumata bake min fana ko budgetinge I would try and get hold of them ngi soto jam maybe ni ngi soto lungoluna be fanan kalam danela lesa jen sa kacha wolum fana bari ekole ako fa jam mi ala kumata o fo dron non kole akol
ñin tembento kola kol danaka wolem kutime ya lon ko as far as logistics is concerned because police nakan ko logistics la the intola the main stakeholders is the community because ni wolle ba kal wolo way di criminal be wolle kono man la fala wonyama bay ko bula wolle no be dol dingol no ma be dol bal ni fal no
adin so domande lafta ka tinti because mutata do kudula but lafta num men Mustapha ningal pareta aliena nomba di police PRO la dukare because wala aliala nomba dinna because lafta ka contact dumala ala baraka
Inembara Aziz, thanks a lot. Okay, police everybody am but sami galande and sebula with the final thoughts la and then nga kukum faja watu tada bake and ila kono to dia bokala minute today pro pakachak mo I think you're on mute today.
Sorry, you didn't know like they just calling you. Yes, yeah, and lafta fola abarka bake PRO for at be inata jang definitely we say wo baleke jang andu ini mol kachata ka mol faham di kudo la ka kudo fana bondi nyo kono isaje mole call understand bake katu polisol ni mol temantol nal tema kairo le nyanta taralaje nte nyanta feel la comfortable ko poliso ninga poliso jana la uniform hani jan no way ninte be tamantama no way nte jote ata bakere na hani be tamantama la ninga poliso hayna dron ka comfortable because ngako banda poliso hayna because ngalon ko mengo menketa even protect la so nyanta wosi fale billahi saje polisol ye jusol nyabu katunde polisol la kamfa wala wakante stress wa police ye jusol nyabu ye tolerant domandi ya lonko wonko dingol lem kol ka kele dulaye kandi ndol hani jannim polisol kan nyo saba janne den ka pidi nyo kan ne jannim polisol andu mambo jang manke okay say mu jan dingol te bari mawulu jang mankulu jang bari kanna nyanto dilan ka bedina de katun ka onda sane ko isi racist nole bari luwa e memfo ido tamande dan ndol fanan kala fi wasifa la manke ko diaspora be sebe diamu bala be saferol kala hani to makku betol mem je jang fanan kala fi wolla ya katu ñil man fisian tolti e man karan tolti in fact akamuta ko doron ila institution o system ole tamata
anu ne mela kuma kuntu dobi je ni tata ni o fe ka vola camera ko abota tuba udole
no tenga o experience to le ta police ini police ya ko yen wa european you know ko for tenga o experience de ba so it can calm down because you know what man la fi problem wala bari this can menje jang nka la fi wala bari ko manke kasiti moy tata dawoda yefem batoji je ikala fi wole nati le ya ikala fi wetare ya man police wol kon manke la jawoti manke la opposition ti lafta mena doron police ye loi tamandi ye loi jube ye loi tamandi ninde Jobarteh kuke ya sambal luwato ni MPP lem ya sambal luwato ni UDP lem ya sambal isaje mbe kan police ye mbe kandi ube call diandi la back and tema katu polisol tonya kabrin 2016 mole polisol cikandi bakele polisol mole cikandi bakele mole support le bari sayin kaje ko abe jikande abe talaka nan to man na fi fola wala katu banko ni polisol traso bota polisol ni mol tema dorong banko bukatano ni aje jan tubabu di ka foko tubabol ni polisol yefe ngo fen ko do e ka lonne amanke ko polisol le ka do ko mol wala ka calling ke ninte be siri jang be ku kala nabbu kono do be siri jaaje asi police ko malaka ngani mo fi mo jele de abe banta be ko ke kan ala check police sina check because mo la ta police ya lon ko kuku kairo banko la kairo mbere tam mbela kairo so ndenga police dani an PRO a barka bake ko inata bijang barka bake ni mo stay mo la mo ye diversion news la mo ye la point D wo definitely wo ente se wala and nga you know sitting here with your police uniform means because it shows the respect and everything you have for to come and meet us. So until well after well for long and ila police mo please ni dani ye ju so nya kamfa police o tate kamfa ti de police o tate kamfa ti police o fa ya ju so nya bo so nga nyo la moy aparka bake and mbal follow la bukari kol sa felale ni kol montanya mam bukara sa felale mba folale bari manka la jawot be lafta kayro lafta men lafta wal aparka bake
Bamba ike fan nice ni nyaadi la tan mo la final thoughts si Bamba bi ba kambane balle la kul manko e Bamba
Lai Mustapha well men sister tentula bake mbe PRO tentula mbe duala fanam palaso alamaye wati because a kind of PRO like yourself mansia PRO me alon ko ye kumande dawda evite dankula jele yela mol la kolu explain molie isa faham no nyameng binga kujama faham te mo wol dol faham no yo anon ñina ñi ñata polisol ni mol tema yaje nim polisol ye public trust soto crime rate katalale because ibaji la ko polisol fanan e kabalu information on la information ka bu mol lebul polisol la investigations especially murder cases and other crimes many alon ko e ka kolea bulu mol le se de mano so foyo mol la lanno soto ani o mol la jiko itol la karola ni o maintain no ya kata foy ni moli o rapport soto ibaji la ko abira do ko sone andila nte men dan na dro wala mo nini na dibitol benda next time fo fero si soto no ba police la joye kafu isaje ko corruption o finance talano police la karola because ibaji la nim police ka enough salary soto salary me alonko it would deter them from corruption o fanan be de mano la bakile pour yera do ko keno ani jorangol fana police on nyanta jorangol soto no la jorangol men yalon ko se mako eno la do ko to akumayata bakil hadamadi yakono pour nga police ol bengang tew city man sakunda fane budget ol dada police ol isi jorang kendol soto no nyame isi communication o keno men hani kabindul la police ol e kataba mobile phone ol amanya na kila o nyama should be an international no mame alon ko nakumata dawda Gambia police station o bele nyanta moy la ko nyine be caring because ko sike basele ite be banjul amari e borna ina banjul ko so ma lon ko membe caring so ni atra police ol be o mari nyine la abe ko le bulle so wo sifal dal anyway mbe piaro tentu la mbaje ila bate ala do ko nyi nyata andum be duwala e fanan ko palaso nyi alama palaso ya wati Mustapha baraka bake I'm so happy
ina baraka ke Bamba Piero ngabre ye kuma kangol moyle foni lafta ye final thoughts share with us ngabre inu be mo kulleti minni alon ko dulbe banku dingol leti minni nyata betiata ngole ngani su wala nan kana kachajam bani ala mabe lungu min nambe National Assembly ila ka fopi ko budgeting finance committee sotola matrala wolum nse fana reach out near time so resinana because mbela fela wol fana sina mako jam ekola kul minne fo wol fana kumata bakele so rin kum nyama thanks for coming your final thoughts mna bokele la kono to diadi ngako kum fawol
abaraka bake nkontanta bake pour kan suro nyim programme to bari jannim medun na wokono bake mbafala bamba mase ko ustade ko de wudi ran tulo bake de salade kafu ko wudi yadan tulo bake de ni sikato kino weke de wo beti ala bake de hade this is good comme ala fanyamen donc the banku do ko la rebe banku do ko in one way or the other and foga kafu nyoma nyum banku do ko nyi fanna clinta keno la donc responsibility so as a security institution to ensure the security and stability of this country bo mun ko la do ko do fana tan la so do fana do ko mo doctor wol bi janne journalist wol bi janne commentators ko mal ba fo ka nyame mo be stake le so and that is important. And Martin Tulabake to have the opportunity and this privilege to be able to talk to you and also use that as an opportunity to also educate the masses, the public, kaitan dila ko police la lub la muniti and lung atata nata me fen fen ke kan is for the public good That's the message. Ndeka katale wato wate by na do ko biden the wall la journalist so command dawoda by the is an opportunity for me, it's an opportunity for the institution. Comme ale même footing me demanding na for drong early 2016-17 DCAF Geneva Center for Security Governance research in the Gambia come the perception trust in the of the public for the police officers or on the police officers. The research I mentioned in the world 20 to 25% of the population will run a police serviceman or support police trust in this country. So what is that data? I mean, if you are a research personnel, you know what that means. 20 to 25%. That's just 1 out of the 4. So it's like we have a lot to do, and not institution. Actually, my office is responsible for that branding and also communicating. So we are doing everything possible. Kajeko Menyanta police will ma ila doko menti andum yenta kala silo menne yake. And fortunately we are having the backing of the Inspector General of Police. Fen fen di mel kon do sula kala kaje kon na doko ni ngata nyama atebe lori wokunale kaje ko ngobe soto fuka ni platform opportunity soto ka kanano ni platform to ka diamu no momondi mun media any order ni hani maki media hani banko dingo ni be dasilo ke kan londele way di say jama en soute wato wati betela to so ni bende kan kuma de nyini nga nyine keta nyine manke tenin denga mello nyi ngalo do mesoro ni si wo ni si ani mo mesoro ngana telephone dila sa ko ko altin kuma di wate kare sa bibe be ñu na fala men atata mata wolem banko do ko wolem we all have a stake in it, and this is the little that as a person I am doing in capacity of the PRO, and as an institution we are doing, and we will do everything possible to ensure control responsibility menti kaje ko ngawo dafa ngalong ata sone ala te diala sa ko ni watin kol abe ko yarim ba he bay di ngakule dam tan tembe mo ka ko me ko clearing the road new operational by the Niakosi back and people they encroach into public space. Hadama de many along it will let individual interest supersedes as far as they are concerned the public good. So science and the movie about Palaponiente Bondi and Bennett Dimbaya Balunanya, the Bondi and Bennett Nola Karamudu, Kenolanyadi. Nimu Purimea Kotonalam in reality now for when Yaman we have emotions and we know what the responsibilities mean. But if I make the greater good is the public good. And me Adrako, I'm in public space, nobody, because you occupy that place illegally. Nobody is going to encroach on your rights and all that. So Abakumala to take that opportunity also to send a message to the public. Development, it has consequences, and this is just one part of that. I ensure there are no blockages, there are no congestions. Traffic and greater Banjul area, surtout Fanala, Damani Alonco are very congested car ensure installation or motor to the parking Kamutul people and also in that regard ensure plans are in place. At this moment, the Inspector General of Police can need to install or to initiate or inaugurate what we call the highway patrol. At this point in time, Katoke can be institutionalized because highway patrol is a moving vehicle or personnel on the road to ensure that there are no blockages, there are no traffic issues. When we see contribute and consolidate to ensure movement and science and ask somebody by the more careful operation killing killing as a bank. But and let the Amosiata back, maybe I'm more kind of Jande for what you do allow Baraka.
In Barabake, PRO Modu Musa Sisawo. Day, thanks a lot for coming. Bamba Butum coming Alimbara Malbe to Lombal Jaila for Lokunala, inshallah. Thank you.
Bamba must enjoy for them.
Thank you, Piero. Thank you. Allah Baraka. Cheers.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
All right, cheers. Yo, butungolam na lokum programo min kasura jang lokum CBT jamano wato insonyi na medana janne for CBT na la programo nyinkana kabo 5 o'clock UK time, but being attended maso because PRO operation role so mi ala lafta kake to wati na attended maso programo nyinto bari ise ni ala mabe CBT na la programo nyimbe munna na jamano civic education talan lulu UK time akana wala kata talan woro la Gambia talan nane kata talan woro Europe talan woro la kata talan kono donc wara so nyin lambe dan na janna fu sibina la inshallah ko on Skype or radio and TV services on al badi malo Mustapha Jammeh membe sirim program ko na fu sibina la inshallah al nimbara